everyone. Good morning and happy Tuesday. I can see you guys all hopping on in the comments, so keep leaving those comments for me. Say hello. Let me know what you are up to today. What's on your docket this week? Is everybody getting ready to go back to school? If you have young kids, then that's probably been on your mind. I know it has been on my mind lately as I tick off all the boxes, getting them signed up for activities and buying school supplies and putting all the reminders in my calendar for back to school night and meet the teacher night and pick up your schedule day and get your picture taken day. So Whitney, would you agree there's a lot?
Woo!
There's a lot
to do.
Yes, and also our kids are still at that age where they don't keep their own schedules. So everything goes in our calendars, and keeping all that straight gets kind of crazy, but also there's just something fun about going back to school. That anticipation, who is going to be on my team this year, who's going to be in my class, who's my teacher going to be. I know those are all things our kids are really excited about. And I'm not sure the same level of excitement is there for the teachers going back to school, but that is what this week's release is all about, kind of encouraging anyone who's starting a new season in life, whether it's a new season of sport, a new season in school, maybe a new job as a teacher. I know we've got lots of people starting in our district this year in a new school, a new place, a new classroom. So we want to encourage everyone as they start this new season. I know teachers are saints. They are amazing people that form young minds, and I am so grateful for all of the people that pour into our kids' lives. So they deserve to be celebrated at the beginning of the year, in the middle of the year, at the end of the year, all through the year. So that is what we are introducing today, are some products to help you celebrate your students and teachers. And we've got some special offers happening. We have several bundles. Our bundles are 10% off through August 12th. And also we are donating $1 for every order placed today through next week, Monday. We are donating to Adopt a Classroom. So that is a great organization that allows teachers to kind of say, I need these supplies to help my students learn better. And I know teachers put so much of their own resources into their classrooms. And so Adopt a Classroom is a way that we can give back and kind of help provide them with the monetary support to be able to buy some of the items that they might really help their students learn better in the classroom. So we are excited to be able to do that with your help. So place an order and we will be donating $1 for every order placed. All right, you guys, I love seeing your connection to kids and teachers. Linda said your grandkids started school yesterday in Colorado. That is early. At least I'm used to Iowa school system, and we don't start until after the Iowa State Fair is over because we have a lot of more rural community kids that participate in that. So we start on August 25th. And yes, it says Michelle's daughter is a 5th grade teacher, and your niece is starting her first year of teaching as a kindergarten teacher. That's a fun time. All the kindergartners still want to get hugs in the morning and in the evening when they leave. So kindergarten is a great age. All right, well, let's get started. Let's take a look at a few of the samples. I have them laid down in front of me because I didn't want you guys to miss out on any of the inspiration. Of course, there are more projects on the website. You can find them in each of the new products. If you click into them, you can find a whole gallery of supply or of card projects. So I did go through these in my product reveal video. So you might have seen them on Saturday, but there are a few new ones in here. We've got our sports release happening. We did hockey, tennis, volleyball, bowling, and I'm missing one. Hockey, tennis, volleyball, bowling, and soccer.
Yes!
Yes. So lots of ways to encourage kids in a new sport, or even to make, cards for my dad. He still plays tennis, and he would love this card. So really fun ways to celebrate people who love to play, watch, enjoy sports. And then we have our sort of back to school days, we're calling it. Our school days part of this release includes lots of fun new goodies. We've got some cool background stamps you can see here. We're going to be making this card with the pencil on it on the live today. Figured out a fun way to use an existing die that we have to make this pencil. So I'm going to show you guys that. And then Jill reminded me of this really fun technique to create that chalkboard look. And we're going to be doing that on this card as well. I love a good dusty chalkboard. So it's a technique that I haven't done for a while, and it's super simple. Anybody can do it. And then we have some new things you saw on these cards. We've got the release of those books. So you might already have these in your collection if you purchased our January kit. And we've added some different stamps to go on the stack of books that are specific to school and teacher. And then some additional stencil and die combo to create these additional little elements like the globe. We have the apple, the plant. Really fun things to turn these books into something great for back to school.
That one's my favorite.
I love that. Heather illustrated that whole collection with the books, and she did such a great job. And then we have one of our newer illustrators, Laura Palmer, created these fun little icons that you see on these two cards here. And also that classroom canvas background stamp that we're going to be using today to create the chalkboard. So really fun options with the smaller elements in the background, and then you get the same elements larger in a stamp and with a coordinating die, so you have the options to do all of those things. This is a card that you haven't seen before because I just made it. So I wanted to create this card to look like a composition notebook, and this background stamp is actually cork background is what it's called, and I just stamped it black onto sugar cube cardstock. Used our rounded rectangle stacklets to create that little opening that you typically see on a notebook, and put the spine down the side, rounded the corners with our corner rounder, and it looks like a little notebook with the icons on it. So really fun projects you can make with this release. And then last but not least, we have our gnome teacher. With the addition of some of our previous gnome sets, you can dress this up as a male teacher with a beard, or we've got the female accessories with the long braids. But then I love the little vest that's in the set, a cute little protractor, and I love the apple hat too. So Sue made this adorable card, and I think it's super cute. All right, so there are a few of the pieces of inspiration from this release. I don't want to forget to do what we do at the beginning of each month, which is our freebies. Whitney, we haven't done do you think you have that or no? Maybe not.
I need to go grab it.
Okay.
You do it.
I'll talk about the freebie that you get with orders of $100 or $200 or more this month. And Whitney's going to run and grab our every order freebie too, because we almost forgot about my favorite part of kind of continuing that monthly collection of every order freebies. So let's talk about our 100, and we have a double tiered freebie this month. So when you purchase $100 or more, you're going to get the Simple Strips Friendship 2 stamp. This works with all of our previously released Simple Strips dies. So whether you have the flag ends or the flat ends, it works with all of those. And I love the sentiments in here. There's some kind of fun ones that you can use to just celebrate your friends at any point in time. A couple of my favorites: Endless Snacks, Zero Judgment. Yes, please. Also, Life's a Mess. I brought snacks. Can you tell there was a snacking theme going on here when I created this? We've got Sending You Bear Hugs. Lucky me to have a friend like you. You are simply the best. You make the world better. Thank you for being a friend. I love this. Oh, and there are a couple that can be combined together. So there's one that says, thanks for always being. And then down here at the bottom, slightly less dysfunctional than me. We all need our friends to hold us up. So we need that slightly less dysfunctional friend to push us along through life. So All right, then if you spend $200 or more, you're going to get the stamp and a new Simple Strips die. This one is called Simple Strips Scalloped Edge. You can see here, if I hold it up, it has these 3 little bumps, little scallops on the side of this die. So it gives you just that little bit of extra, just a little bit of something extra with that die cut. So this is the $200 freebie. Bonnie's asking if the freebie applies to the sidewalk sale. So we do have a sidewalk sale happening this weekend at our studio, and it does not apply to the sidewalk sale items. However, you can shop within the studio, and anything that you purchase that would be a regular merchandise item, not part of the sidewalk sale, if you get to $200 or more, you would get both of those freebies in the studio. So that's how that's going to work if you're coming to our sidewalk sale this weekend. Okay, let's go now to my favorite part, which is continuing our Year in Bloom collection. So with every order that you place at TE, you get this little bag, which includes a free stamp and a sticker. If you want to continue to place those stickers on your Year in Bloom carrier sheet, we have this available for purchase separately, and it makes a great home for collecting all of your Year in Bloom stamps.
Yours is almost like...
I know. That means it's time to start the next one, right? We better start coming up with what's next for everybody.
Oh, I got lots of good ideas. Candy of the month? No, I'm just
Yes. Maybe we need a food theme here. So this month's flower is the poppy for August. So this is the sticker you'll receive that comes with the stamp. And then you can peel that off. Maybe. Right, Whitney?
Yes, do you need my help?
I don't know. I kind of wish these stickers had a little slit down the back, but they don't. But I always make it.
You always make it
It's
happen.
just when people are watching, it seems to take longer. So, okay, so we're just going to place that right inside of that oval that's printed on the packaging. And there's our August. We peeled the backing off of this, so it's going to stick down onto the back of our panel. And then for those of you that like to be able to have coordinating dies, when a new die or when a new stamp releases, we also have the die available for purchase. So if you want to add this to your order, so you get the die and then you'll get the stamp for free, and you'll have both of those coordinating items. So we've got lots of fun things to keep using these Year in Bloom products, and I am excited. 2 rows are complete. All right, so there we have our freebies, and we talked about our new release. I forgot to show you a few of the samples that Jill made. How adorable with the $100 and $200 freebies. We've got Gus and Gertie sliding down that hill. You're crushing it. And then Whitney says this a lot. Hot Mess Express. No brakes. And choo-choo. We'll go with beep beep.
Okay,
How about
beep, beep.
beep beep coming through, Hot Mess Express. And then also we've got those cute little snacky images. Life's a mess, I brought snacks. Kind of a fun way to just encourage people through the tough spots in life sometimes. Sometimes you just need a little laugh. All right, so let's get crafty. I mentioned we are gonna make this card today, and this was the other one that I made, which was really fun to make, but it's a lot of watching me color images. So we're gonna talk about this one, making that fun pencil using a die set that we already have in our collection. First, we're gonna start with the chalkboard background, and I'm gonna be using the Classroom Canvas stamp. This is a 6x6 stamp, so you can get both a vertical and a horizontal card out of this design. And we'll go ahead and set that up in the MISTI. All right, are your kids ready? Are they excited to go back to school, do you think?
Yes. Both are excited. We have Stony starting preschool. And
That
he's
will
a
be
little
fun,
nervous,
is he?
but Yep. Mm-hmm.
That'll be fun for him, a new experience, and get to go to school with the big kids.
Yes.
right. Linda said she's not finding the die for the August freebie. My suggestion would be to search August, and then I think that will come up for you. I believe that's what Charlie's been telling people, to find that die. Okay, let's find my black cardstock here, and we're going to place that down. Close the back lid to pick that up with the adhesive. And then we need our powder tool. We're going to powder till the cows come home because we're doing white on black for this, and we don't want any of those stray bits of white embossing powder on our cardstock here. I have black licorice cardstock, which is deeper and more intense than our Oreo. I think it looks really great used as a chalkboard, so that's why I chose it for this one. And we'll go ahead and stamp this then with Versamark ink. Probably go ahead and ink it a couple times, close it just to make sure I've got it fully stamped here. No stressing today, we're just pressing.
Whoop, whoop. Have you gone school supply shopping, or how are you doing that this year?
You know, school supply shopping has been kind of, I don't know, not as fun as what I remember when we were kids, because we would buy all the fun folders and the Trapper Keepers, and now the lists are very dictated as to you need this number of folders,
yep,
and they have to be these 5 colors, and so I just ordered school supplies online. My kids didn't really want to go.
Yeah.
Did you guys go?
I took Stony. He needed 6 boxes of crayons.
Oh, they're going to do a lot of coloring in preschool.
I was like,
6
all right,
boxes.
I'm here for it.
I thought you were going to say he needed 6 boxes of Kleenex, because that's the other thing. I feel like halfway through every school year, the teachers are like, we need more Kleenex if anyone is able to donate.
I know. It's a lot, but it was super fun. He was excited to buy his first backpack and lunchbox.
Oh, that is always a fun thing for the girls, is finding their backpack. So
Yes.
That's become our school shopping. We kind of do it when we buy first day outfits, because they like to pick out a special outfit for their first day, and then we get their backpack at that time too. So we haven't done that yet. And I have been hearing about how we haven't done that yet.
Yes.
When are we going, Mom? When can we go?
My friend who is a teacher, she also gets, she picks out her first day outfit. She's
Aww.
like, she always gets excited every year. She buys herself first day outfit, sends me a picture.
That's awesome. All right. Make sure you don't lose it as you're tapping on the back. Sometimes I like to tap like this, and that gets those loose bits off. And if there's anything, especially in these really intricate backgrounds, if there's any spots where, oh, I've got a couple flecks, I usually don't worry too much about it, especially with this chalkboard technique. We're going to be rubbing white ink over portions of this. So if there are little strays, it's okay. All right. Let's go ahead and get our heat tool started. This is going to take a little while to heat this whole background, but here are some tips. As I heat, I'll see. Hopefully everyone can still hear me. I am right by the microphone, but as I let this heat up, one of my tips with white embossing powder is you need to watch it turn white and then move on quickly. So let your heat tool heat up. I'm going to come into one spot, and as I see that spot turn, I'm going to move on quickly from that area. If you hold it in the same spot too long, you're going to burn your embossing powder, which basically just means you're going to melt it into the black cardstock, and it's going to look oily instead of raised and white. As I get about halfway done here, I'm going to have to grab my mini mitts. Now that I have some of it heated and I can actually touch it on this end, I'm going to grab my mini mitts and hang on to that. And then we can finish up the rest of this side. All right, I'm gonna turn that off, and then I always give it a good look over before I give it the all clear, and it looks good to me. Isn't that cute? I love it.
I love how much that pops on that
It
paper.
really does, yeah. You can always grab your buffing cloth. If you have this one from our advent calendar last year, this is what I like to use. Or you can grab one of our cleaning cloths and just keep it free from like stamp cleaners and use it only as a buffing cloth. Our other microfiber cleaning cloth works well for buffing as well, but that's going to bring back that vibrant color of the black licorice cardstock and take away any powder residue that might still be on the cardstock. So now I told you guys chalkboard technique, super easy. We're going to take a sugar cube ink pad, and I know I'm going to pull this out and everybody's going to ask the same question. When do we get these? We do have them in production. They are coming. If you're attending Stamp Joy this fall, you'll be among the first to see them in actual available for purchase. And so stay tuned. But I love these little daubers for our pigment inks, which I use mostly with sugar cube. But you can see I'm just taking here, if I pull it up into the camera, you'll see it a little bit better. It just makes it look like you erased that part of your chalkboard and had a little bit of that chalky residue left behind. So I'm just gonna pick a couple spots here. Knowing that my pencil's gonna go down the center, I don't really need to focus any here, just kind of on the outer edges. And you can pounce, you can kind of spread that ink across there to get that chalky residue in the background.
Ooh.
Fun, huh?
That is fun. I was wondering how you did that.
Yeah.
I didn't see you create this card. So.
I mean, you can also, if you don't have a sponge dauber, you can also take the sugar cube ink pad and you can kind of give it a little bit of a direct to paper, and then even just use your finger to sort of rub it in.
Okay.
And that's an option as well. All right, now I wanted something around the outside to make it look like a chalkboard. And I'll be honest with you guys, I did try a wooden outline and I just didn't love that look. So sometimes I just decide, nope, I'm gonna go away from what realistic would be, because, you know, typically chalkboards have that thick wooden border around the outside, but I decided to use the Frame and Frame 3 die set, which has this largest die in it. And I cut out 4 of these from black licorice cardstock, and I glued them together to really get a thick ledge on this card. Can you see how thick that card is? So I wanted it to look like the chalkboard that you would see at a school, where the actual chalkboard is recessed and then it has that frame around the outside. I did that ahead of time, so I have that frame here. Again, I cut it 4 times and glued them together, and then we'll just place that right over the top. Get out my glue press here today. And we'll let that kind of sit while we do the rest of the card, the little pencil inside. There's just something about a fat pencil. I love that imagery.
Yes!
And so I decided we've got to have something in our collection where we could create this. I know we do have, like, the gnome set comes with a little a fat pencil that the gnome can hold. But I wanted something big and focal. So I'm going to show you guys once I get this sort of clamped down here. We'll set this aside, and looks like my background piece might be just a little bit larger than the frame, so we can always cut that little excess off with scissors as well. Melissa says, when I was in school, our chalkboards were green. You know what? Did you have any green chalkboards?
I did.
Did you? Mm-hmm. Okay. I think I remember vaguely green chalkboards too. So you could definitely try this with green. And that would be fun. All right. So let's set this piece aside then. I'm going to take my scissors really quick, and I've got just a little bit of excess here at the bottom of this frame that I glued on. And we'll trim that off and set this aside and get ready to create our pencil. So in creating this pencil, I took a look through our die collection, and I found this one, maybe. Oh, here it is. I knew it was here somewhere. This is where I start to lose my mind. So this is called Pennant Stacklets, and it has a point at the end of it, which is really what I was looking for. And I wanted something that I could create a fat pencil with. Now, of course, you know, I'm going to pull out, I believe this is the size that I used. We're not going to make a pencil quite this big, but what we can do is trim off equal distance on the sides to create that size or width of pencil that we want. But what I was really trying to do was get the height of the pennant at the size of the pencil that I wanted to make. And then after we choose that, this is actually the third largest of the Pennant Stacklets. I'm going to tell you just how much I cut off of the sides. So Pennant Stacklets is what we're going to use to make that pencil.
We've been using those Pennant Stacklets a lot lately.
Have we?
Yes,
I did.
Sports.
Oh, that's right. We used it as a home plate for baseball.
Yes.
I think we cut it like about here, and it looks like home plate for baseball. I'm going to take a piece of pineapple cardstock. So we had fun around here too, determining like what color TE cardstock could be used for a pencil. And we narrowed it down to several actually that could be used. So I'm using pineapple and strawberry milkshake. I think in the studio today, the card that they're making is lemon meringue with pink champagne for the eraser part. Okay, so this is going to be our pencil, and as I said, we're going to cut it down so it's not quite so thick. Then I need the wooden part of the pencil to match up perfectly with the bottom of this piece, and so we are going to take and just grab a little bit. We don't need the full pennant. We just need that bottom part of it. And we're going to cut the wood out. Just like that. Okay, let's get this out of the way for a second.
Did you keep any of your Trapper Keepers or any old school
No.
supplies with the Lisa Frank on them?
I sure wish I had.
Me too. You had the best school supplies.
It was fun picking out all that stuff, and now that kind of Lisa Frank has, that style has come back.
Yes.
I feel like that I wish I had some of those old relics to share with my kids. Instead, all I have are my words, and they just can't quite picture like a Trapper Keeper, Mom. All right, so let's go ahead and mess with this piece before we glue it onto the bottom of our pencil. Basically, we're going to trim this right at this line where the point starts. So I don't need to do that yet, but that's how we're going to determine where our pencil wood begins is right where that line goes. So I'm going to add a little bit of dimension with some Toffee ink and my blender brush. I've told you guys before, I don't make very many cards where I don't add some kind of blending either to the plain cardstock or, you know, through a stencil, or I just think it adds that extra dimension. Okay. Now, since I just added ink to this, I am going to just powder it really quick. We're going to add the pencil lead to the bottom of this, and I'm just going to take my Versamark ink pad and I'm going to use this flat edge here to press it down onto my cardstock. Another thing, maybe we should do this, so if you don't, you know, this will save you maybe some heartache if you tend to mess things up, but I am just going to put this little piece of tape down there, and then that's actually going to protect me from needing this powder. So I kind of like this idea. I didn't do this the first time, but it's helpful to have that mask there, and then you can just simply grab that ink pad, press it onto the tip, and then we're going to pull this up. I think I'm going to pull this off, and we're going to dip this. Actually, I don't think I can dip this into the
clear
jar, but this is just clear embossing powder. I'm going to tap that off, and then we can heat that, and it's going to look shiny. So let me get cleaned up here before we turn our heat tool on and blow all the mess around. Another great part of the glass board is we just did that whole thing right there, and we can easily clean up this mess with a little bit of alcohol. Ta-da! I actually enjoy cleaning now that I have the glass board, and it's easy.
I was going to say, that used to be my job. You're doing a great job.
Thank you.
Look at you.
All right, so let's heat up that powder tool, or not powder tool, embossing gun again. Got my pencil lead here. And that's going to make it shiny. Sometimes I like to show you guys the kind of step it up version, but you could also just take maybe your Olo black marker and color that edge. And then you wouldn't have to go through the steps of the embossing, but I think it is kind of fun and adds just a little extra something. All right, so we are going to take and cut that right from that point to that point. Lining up. I'm actually going to start my cut in the middle. Have you guys ever noticed, there's a tip for you, start your blade in the middle of your paper, because if you're cutting straight into a corner, the blade can kind of crush that corner and make it look not good. So when I'm cutting straight into a corner, I start my blade in the middle and I move up and then I move down, and that keeps my corners nice and straight. No crushed corners.
Crisp corners.
Crisp corners, yes. Okay, so let's not put this away yet. We're going to cut our pencil down, and this is the measurement that I came up with. You could fudge a little bit and go with 5/8 of an inch off of each side, or what I did was 9/16 inch off of each side. So 5/8 would just give you a slightly thinner pencil, but 5/8 is, or 9/16 is 1/16 above or more than 1/2 inch. So I find 1/2 inch and then move it one more little tick above that. And then to keep that flat edge along the ridge, I'm going to turn this and move it down to the bottom. And then I'm going to find 1/2 inch again and cut 1 more 1/16 off. Just like this. So there we have our pencil. Perfect, right? Depending on what size pencil you want to make, just make sure that you're cutting the same amount off of each side, and that's going to keep your pencil lead centered at the bottom. So you can really make whatever size thickness pencil that you want, just making sure that each side is equally cut off. All right, now let's take and cut our strawberry milkshake for the top. I'm gonna grab I keep trying to put away my paper trimmer and then like, no, don't put it away yet. So this piece, I didn't measure ahead of time, but it looks like we're about 1 1/8 inch. So we'll cut that 1 1/8 inch. Like that. So that's going to be across the top. And we can actually go ahead and adhere that and then just trim the sides equally. Then we'll make sure they match up perfectly. So let's go ahead and use our corner rounder. Have you guys seen this yet? Love this thing. I'm using the medium round to round the top of my pencil so the eraser is kind of rounded like a pencil would be.
I saw you used it on your composition notebook too.
I did. I used it on the corners.
That was so smart.
Right there.
Cute.
So yeah, lots of good uses for this. It was something that came with our advent calendar last year, but it is now available for purchase in the store as one of our teal tools. So you get a small, a medium, and a large corner round in one easy to store punch. Okay, so we're gonna add a little bit of blend to the top of our eraser. Again, just some dimension before we adhere this down. I'm gonna add to the top here. Okay. And then we'll go ahead and put a little bit of adhesive on. And then we can take a scissors and just trim the sides off. I'm not going to trim the corner round. I'm just going to trim straight up from the edge, and then we'll use our corner rounder to round that off perfectly. Just like that. And if you want to, you can add a little bit more dimensional blending. Let me grab my corner rounder, medium size. Again, we'll put that back in there. I will say the corner rounder, it likes to round one sheet of cardstock. I do have more trouble if I'm trying to do two layers at a time. And so that's why I did the yellow layer first and then adhered and did the pink layer second. So that's one little tip I would give you is like on this card base, I didn't do both corners or both layers at the same time. I opened it up and did this layer and then this layer. And then it'll just perform a little bit easier. You don't have to push as hard or risk kind of breaking your punch if you're squeezing it too hard. All right, let's go ahead and put this down at the bottom here. And like that. And we'll just cut the back side off of this as well.
What grade is Henry in this year?
Henry will be in 3rd grade this year.
Oh, he's so big.
I know.
Has he gotten his teacher yet? Or no?
I'm sorry. I did this wrong and it's bugging me. So we're just gonna
peel it off.
Nope, we're not.
Oh, not gonna peel it off.
Yeah, we're gonna leave it for now, but here, learn from my my learning that I just did in front of you all. So I must have waited to cut this bottom piece until I had cut down my pencil, because once you cut down your pencil, it actually gets thinner and your edge to edge piece goes down as well. So really my cut should be right about here. But I did glue it, and so if I pull it up, it's going to not work right now. But you can just see the difference a little bit between the thickness of the pencil part versus over here. But I think it still looks like a pencil.
I do
so,
too. Yeah, I wouldn't have noticed that.
Okay, good. All right, let's go ahead then. I have a piece of silver foil cardstock that I'm going to put up here at the top. That's the metal part between the wood of the pencil and the eraser. And we'll go ahead and glue that down and trim off the edge. And then I did do some pre-stamping of the other pieces of the project so we can put it together a little bit faster. I've got the thank you sentiment from our School Daze that I stamped in Versafine Clair and embossed with clear embossing powder. Then I have the heart from the same set that's stamped in Cherry Pop and then die cut. And then one of the sentiments, so on this card I did thank you, you make a difference. And then on this one we're going to do thank you and you're an A+ in my book. So both of those mini strips are from the new mini strips stamp in this release. It's called Mini Strips New Season. And there are good ones in here for both sports and for school. So I love that you can use them both ways. So let's go ahead and adhere these down with some foam tape. I think Susan's got, what do we call these little extras that we just tear off the roll and keep here at the top? We'll go ahead and put some pieces on the back. Has everybody been saying what they're up to? What kind of projects are you guys making lately? Getting ready for? Guess what's coming soon? One of my favorites.
It's the most wonderful time. Halloween!
I know. I was like, wrong song, Whitney.
I always sing it for Halloween because I'm like, it comes before.
It does. It's one of my favorites. I love Halloween. It's August, so you guys will be seeing that in a couple of weeks. I'm excited to create for Halloween. And then it's our birthday after that.
Eeks! We're big kids now.
We're going to be 17.
17.
Yes. Can't believe it. And then after that is Christmas. So I know we've got lots of new people joining Tailored Expressions, which I love. I love it when I come on our fan page and people say, I'm new to Tailored Expressions, and then they ask a question. I love that. So I've seen a lot of those lately. And if you are one of those people, hop on our fan page because it is the most welcoming group of crafters. They will answer any question you have and give you lots of great advice. So, yeah, I know we have lots of new people, but with that, there are some questions about when do you do your holiday release? And the holiday release comes in September. So if you're wanting to see what Tailored Expressions is going to put out there for Christmas, then you're going to have to wait towards the end of September, and we will have our fabulous, truly most wonderful time of the year products coming out. Danine's got a birthday rush from July through October, so she's creating lots of birthday cards right now. All right, then we've got this. I kind of like to slip the sentiment just right underneath the thank you so that it touches it just a little bit. I've talked about that before, how I like to have elements that touch each other. It kind of helps draw your eye into what you're looking at. And so sometimes if you have like a flower and you have a sentiment, I'll make the sentiment slightly touching the flower, just so that your eye is all drawn into the focal part of that and it doesn't seem like two very separate pieces. So let's go ahead. Rachel's asking if we have any tea to spill with the new color. I don't. No, we're going to have to wait. It's only 2 more days. So those of you who maybe missed this announcement, at the first Thursday of every month throughout the rest of this year, we will have a new color launching. So I know we just did a big new color release in July, and we are continuing that. So with a single color release the first Thursday of each month. And we will have a guessing game for the color name. So I believe it starts tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow.
Okay.
I was just checking.
Yeah, so tune in on the fan page. You can put your guess into our Google form, and your guess doesn't even have to be correct. We will select from all of the guesses. Someone will win a gift card. So that is happening starting tomorrow. And then Heather will be live on Thursday with that launch of the new color. All right. Here we go. Yeah, Charlie says the color name won't be quite as hard as last time. We got through Tiki Mule, which was probably the hardest color name we've ever had to guess. Yeah, this time I think we're going to have some correct answers. So, all right, let's glue this down. And then I want to show you guys another one of the products we've brought out with this release. And I'm going to do just a little bit of foiling. So let me turn on my machine so it can start heating up while I'm gluing this down. I used a black licorice card base, and especially when you use black card bases, you want to make sure that you line the inside of that card with something that you can write on. So typically white, but to make it even more interesting, we have this new set of foilets that just released. This is or insiders is what I meant to say, the insiders for teacher. I'm going to use the influence of a great teacher can never be erased. I think that's great with the little pencil and the eraser that we have there. And then you make a difference. We are grateful. You are an A+ in our book. And then this one, teaching is like riding a bike, except the wheels are on fire and the brakes don't work. Best wishes. You got this. That one's perfect for a teacher starting a new school year. So let's go ahead and grab my mini Mink here. All of our insiders panels are toner printed, so you can foil them if you like to do that. I'm going to be using our Cherry Pop Fun Foil for this sentiment. We'll just trim off a piece of that. Make sure we're going to cover the whole thing. And then, of course, we'll save our scrap. Perfect timing. Thank you, Mini Mink. It is now ready on a heat setting of 3, and we're going to pop that through with our Foil Magic shim and the carrier sheet. Takes a little bit to go through there, but then we can take that card and just adhere it on the inside. And we've got a place to sign our name or write a little message to the teacher. Here we go. Can't rush the Mink.
This is the magical part.
All right, so we like to let that cool on its own just a little bit before we pull the foil off. And I find that that helps with the foil adhering to your toner print a little bit better. So it doesn't take long, 10 seconds or so, and it's cooled down. And then we'll do our magic reveal. Look at that.
Woo-hoo.
Love it. All right, let's pop that inside then, and we are done for today. Okay. There we go. Look at these. Super cute, ready to give to teachers, and hopefully give them some encouragement as they start a new season. All right, let me come back to you guys here and give you a few more reminders. So get your orders placed for this release. The 10% bundle discounts only last through Monday next week, August 12th. And then, actually, is August 12th Tuesday? I think it's Tuesday.
Yes, Tuesday
So,
before 9 a.m.
Tuesday before 9 a.m. is when those bundle discounts will end. And then the donation of $1 per order placed goes through that time as well. So we will be donating to Adopt a Classroom for the orders that you guys placed during this release period. And then, as we talked about just now, make sure you're tuning in for Heather's Live on Thursday. We have our guessing game starting tomorrow for the new color that Heather will be debuting on Thursday. So we're excited to add another new color to our collection. And then you'll have to wait a little bit longer. It'll be the first Thursday in September then that you'll have another new color. All right, everybody, have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.